Exposure 2015 with myself, Charlie Smith, first show that will surely delight, entertain and tickle every human bone in your body. I'll have interviews with some of the hottest comedians on the circuit, as well as roaming the streets of Cardiff and
Wales.
So make sure you catch myself, Charlie Smith, only on Exposure TV for the last straw. So when do we start? March. I'll see you in March.
Hi, I'm Ella.
And I'm Charlie.
And we're the presenters on Exposure TV's magazine show on the 20th of March at 1 p.m.
We'll be looking at 25 years of Adobe Photoshop and the history of the programme. And we'll be checking out Art Hour. This is a scheme set up by the WWF. No, not the wrestlers, the wildlife people. And it's their awareness towards climate change. And some of the presenters will be getting involved in the Lights Off event. I like Lights Off. And you like soul, funk and dance? Well, try out a Soul Lot of Funk. They'll be performing live on the show.
And if you want to follow us, tweet us at ExposureUSW.
I'm Charlie Smith and I'll be presenting Exposure TV on the 26th of March, 3 to 4. The show will be looking at equality, women's rights and the LGBT community. We'll have the Where Am I feature for you all to guess and a day in the bay. We will have LGBT officer Lucy Morgan and from the Uni Chaplaincy, Vaughan Rees. We'll have our Age Cymru piece with Martine Shanklin Bennett, who is a 67-year-old transgender woman.
I'm a female that was born in a male body.
So tune in next week to Exposure TV. I'll see you there. Hello and welcome to Exposure TV. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ella.
I love Photoshop because when my uncle was getting married years ago, my dad's got a camera and he took the photos at the wedding. And my granddad, who was in his 90s, was there and he has like one tooth left in his head. So he managed to make a copy of that tooth and give my granddad a full set of teeth.
Wow, so he had like gnashes for the wedding?
He did, yeah.
That is amazing.
Only in the pictures.
Oh yeah, he turned up in real life.
Oh, in real life, it was just all gums, nothing else. But Photoshop is great, and I think it's one of those tools that if you know how to use it,
yeah, you can
brilliant.
be really great.
But sadly, that's all we have time for today's show on Exposure TV. There will be a show back at 3 p.m. Stay tuned. But from us, goodbye.
Bye.
So if you are worried about graduating or how to find work afterwards, or if you just want to go and stare at his beautiful beard, pop along and see David.
Fantastic jawline.
Oh, brilliant. What a lovely guy.
Just use the people going in. I don't need career help. I just want to look at the beard.
Why not?
So there are all these things available for you. If you do want to have do want to try them out, do go down there. They have all the information you ever need for any sort of extra postgrad work or just your future careers.
Yeah, very helpful, definitely.
Next, just imagine for a second you were born a girl, but you were trapped inside a boy's body, and you had to live your life feeling wrong and different.
That's how Martine Shackley Bennett lived for over 60 years of her life.
What did you get? I don't know.
Okay, this is quite easy.
Sorry, what?
Not with his acting skills. Oh my goodness.
Throwing a ball in the air. What? A lightsaber?
Okay, pass. Next one. Oh, come on.
Thank you very much.
And if by magic we have Lucy down here in the studio with us for a chat. Lucy, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Great, delighted to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Hello and welcome to the final Exposure TV show of 2015. Brace yourself for what is going to be a show packed to stuff which you do not want to miss.
That's right, today's show we plan on going out with a bang.
Yes, we have an exclusive interview with Will Greenwood and Nigel Owens as Exposure covered Sky TV's School of Hard Knocks. Yes, and as well as all that, Exposure went to Merthyr to speak to the Living for Sport Student of the Year, Emma Morgan. And of course, we all knew Ireland were going to take the win from the very beginning. Did we, Alice? We are joined in the studio now by BBC and S4C broadcaster Betty George, who has covered numerous TV and radio shows over the last 40 years.
Welcome.
It's great to have you here. We're all obviously studying here at the university, media students, performance media students, journalism students. What advice would you give, say, to us going out into the real world? Because that's a terrifying thing now.
Yes.
Once comes, we get our certificates, that's it.
Yeah, I think, do you know what I don't like about news gathering these days is that journalists speak to journalists. You know, the news presenter in the studio speaks to a journalist. Now, in my day, we used to interview experts. And we considered experts to be outside the journalistic sort of, I mean, it's great for journalists, of course, to do the work of corresponding and things like that, but as far as expert interviews are concerned, I would advise you to speak to experts, and they know far more about it than journalists.
For the journalism students studying here, put your fingers in your ears. Betty, thanks so much for coming in. It's been an absolute privilege.
Fantastic to meet you. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, and all the best in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's unfortunately the end of the show, and the end of the shows for this year. Yes, this has been the final show on Exposure 2015, and we truly hope you have enjoyed it.
It's okay. It's okay. Calm down, Tilly. Calm down. So, like I said, last show, and it's just been emotional.
It has been emotional. And first, before we head off, I'd like to thank everyone who took part. Now, this is going from journalism students, radio students, and the media students taking the reign here as well. But I have been Charlie Smith.
And I have been Alice Wilson. I probably still will be tomorrow.
You probably will. And this has been Exposure 2015. We hope you enjoyed the past 5 weeks from the radio to the TV. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello and welcome. Last weekend saw one of the most mega rugby weekends the country or the world has ever seen. Ireland took home the Six Nations Championship. I hate it. The Irish coming over here, stealing our trophies, stealing our jobs, stealing our copper wire. England played France. There hasn't been that much tension between the two teams since Napoleon took out his Pokemon cards and challenged Nelson to a duel in Waterloo. Morrissey also surprised fans in Cardiff this week when they found out he was still alive. Yes, the mod rock star performed at the Motorpoint Arena, where he battled through some of his finest hits, creating a grey cloud over the city. Mods of people came out of the arena afterwards in floods of tears, reminiscent of the time when they failed their driving test and in a result had to pedal their Vespas home. Now, this week also saw the burial of the King. Yes, England went back in time with the burial of the bendy-backed King himself, Richard III. He was buried at Leicester Cathedral. Many of Richard's ancestors were there to celebrate and reminisce on the times they spent with the man.
Thank you so much.
We'll keep everyone up
Definitely.
to date.
We'll put it on the
how to-
website as well. Thank you very much.
Now, next up, Exposure spoke to Stephen Powell and Kerry Wilde, who are taking part in the bike ride from Cardiff to Paris with and in aid of this disabled rugby player Owen Williams.
And like Matt said, since Owen Williams was struck with a life
The year here in the city centre. It is the Ireland v Wales rugby game, of which we all know the outcome. And Michael Flatley's Lord of the Dance.
And if you've missed us, but you can probably check it online, this morning we had the eclipse where the moon covered the sun to block out the light for nearly 2 hours. And behind me here in the National Museum of Wales, there was an event on this morning, as well as plenty of other things going on to celebrate the eclipse. Welcome to the Comedy Den here at Porter's in Cardiff. Tonight is a free night of comedy with some of the finest acts on the circuit. And yeah, so come down, take a seat and enjoy the Comedy Den, hosted by myself, Charlie Smith. A night that you will surely never forget. No promises. This is Matt Rees headlining the Comedy Den tonight. Matt is a Welsh comedian from Wales.
My boyfriend got me these so that I could wash the dishes a little bit better.
Yes, I spoke to both Welsh and Irish fans, finding out just how well they know each other's national anthems, and my ears still haven't recovered.
Let's take a look at how the supporters got on.
I'm in Cardiff on the busiest day of the year here in the city centre. It is the Ireland v Wales rugby game, of which we all know the outcome. Robert from Tipperary, and he came out in this brave attire. Did you make it yourself, or was this
present?
A present. I take it the person is no longer friends with you or has anything. Are these them here?
No.
Everyone in the Welsh?
My wife.
Your wife? The divorce papers are coming in on Monday.
If this has shocked you, please send your complaints to any other university. But for now, I have been Charlie Smith, reading off a sheet of paper.